Beltane and Samhain, when the veils are the thinnest, a chaos magician's guide. Across the wheel of life, from a pagan point of view, lies two of the great sun festivals. Beltane and Samhain, like mirror images, opposites and reflections alike. Beltane, like Samhain, is an ancient Celtic festival, a fire festival, and the celebration of love and sexuality. The goddess as May Queen shares the love and the making of love with the god of the land, the Green Man, or another expression of masculine divinity depending on tradition.
Samhain sits at All Hallows and is an honouring of our beloved dead and a practice of ancestor worship from within Celtic mythology and religious practices. The Christian Church, as it gradually appropriated this part of the Celtic culture, changed it into Halloween, the night before Saints' Day, and Christian dominance took hold.
Historically, both of these Celtic festivals were a part of pagan religious observances. They celebrated and honored the masculine and feminine divine and the cycle of life through the movement of the seasons, and their expressions seen daily on the earth. For the independent chaos magician, and indeed many magicians from other traditions, these Sabbat festivals are times of magical practice and ritual, a time to honor their own paths. Here we share our thoughts like a drive towards communion with others, yet occupying the other polarity at the same time, of magical isolation and independence.
For us, this isolation and independence is a magician's magical commitment. We weave the sorcery of the Sabbats beyond good and evil, right and wrong, beyond the diktats of moralism, religions, and the right-hand path. Invoking the God as equals to share in the creation into the flesh of all of our desires as we employ the ancient maxim, to know, to will, to dare, to keep silent. For within pagan mythology and pagan magic there were always those that exercised their paths outside of the orthodoxy, inviting the judgment of appointed priestesses and priests of pagan deity and Christian piety alike, transforming that energy into power. Hail Hecate, Queen of the Angels. Hail Baphomet.
What is chaos magic? The order that our mind imagines is like a ladder built to attain something. But afterwards you must throw the ladder away, because you discover that, even if it was useful, it was meaningless. Umberto Eco, The Name of the Rose.
In truth, there's no real agreement about what chaos magic actually is. Some interpret it as a philosophy and practice of magic that centers itself around chaos theory, in relation to where the mage places her attention and beliefs. Others have created a belief system around the idea that you shouldn't try and manipulate energy. The magician just intuitively releases energy, and whatever the outcome must have been her will. I have no judgment, no opinion. Whatever the mage chooses is absolutely correct, and I honor it. Peter. J. Carroll, one of the fathers of chaos magic, reported that he could have called chaos magic God or universe magic, and that in his mind chaos didn't mean anything at all. We at Magic Self and Spirit see a significant part of our paths as influenced by chaos magic, particularly the following.
Nothing is real. Absolute truth belongs to the part of ourselves which is divinity. And from there we know that everything is real. Therefore, nothing is real. This is explained by the Hermetic laws of correspondence, polarity, and rhythm. Everything corresponds above and below, in and out. Everything has its opposite polarity, and the tides flow constantly between these polarities. We interpret the above this way. We can choose to experience anything. No one reality, magical school, religion, or science is real in the absolute. The one that becomes real is the one we place our attention on. We choose to immerse our perception into the magic of Beltane and Samhain in this moment, as they face each other like life and death. Yet, their energies are really like the love and sex of creation and the destruction necessary to realize it. Beliefs are tools. They are vital in the creation of new realities. Also, we can borrow, change and take from any religious or magical tradition we like. All of it is in the collective hive mind. We can access that mind. It's ours.
Truth and illusion. As we jump over the Beltane bonfire, either as part of Beltane celebrations, often with others, or reveling on the astral plane, I, Steve, become Kern Nuno's making love with the goddess, Rhiannon perhaps.
In order to have the magical experience, we have to adopt the beliefs of the bright fire Celtic culture. We put the experience on like a mask of Beltane or Samhain and live it until we end our ritual. On closure, the mask of reality comes off. Beltane celebrations and the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain become illusions again. That is, not real, each just mythology.
The veils between the worlds.
As the May Queen makes love to her lord as the land herself. As Beltane vibrates with orgiastic love and sex magic, the household fires burn. Beltane is alive and thriving in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, other fires burn. It is the pagan Year's Eve. The Green Man has begun to die. The goddess as crone has come to collect him just before Soul's Day. Beltane and Samhain are quite literally two halves of the same whole. Their rituals and celebrations are both characterized by the use of a fire festival, and they are tied together by tradition.
Beltane and Samhain are gateways to the other world, the land of the dead. The boundaries between the worlds are at their thinnest. Nature is herself whole and divine, nature experienced through orgasm. Life and birth and nature in her aspect of death and destruction are united and are the energies that this veil is composed of. These are the traditions and celebrations of the powers of both the living and the dead combined, like a linear tunnel through the wheel of the year. Beltane and Samhain are also the gateways from the other world into birth. The ancestors have the hidden powers of fertility which we as magicians can access. This fertility magic of the ancestors comes out of the darkness and into new life. As October closes, we honor our beloved dead, and the dead are replaced by the living, as we welcome the first day of summer at Beltane.
Traditionally, in folklore, summer, winter, living and dead, birth leads to rebirth. This is the hidden fertility magic of the copulation of Beltane and Samhain. This is the great spirituality of the Celts, the Celtic dance, the Druids, and the wisdom of nature and her aspects of summer and winter concurrently. Not only is Beltane the marriage of the goddess and the god, it's also the marriage of the living and the dead, the union of the finite and the infinite. Beltane and Samhain are always one. Perhaps this is the real Beltane meaning, the real Samhain meaning. Samhain symbols, and Beltane symbols deified. Who knows? Interesting idea. Nothing is real. All is illusion.
Love, sex, and death. The ancient festival of Beltane, the ancient festival of Samhain, the hearth fires, the traditions of the communal bonfire, all that make each fire festival real. These are the personification and deification of the primal forces of emotion, copulation, and eradication.
Where in your magic can birth occur? What needs to be destroyed as the spirits of possibilities arise in the rituals of ecstasy? Can you work with the traditions and rituals of the pagan gods and unite history, the now, and the future? Time is both circular and linear concurrently. It evolves as the cycle of life, the goddess, and as the straight arrow on a journey, death, or the gods, depending on how you describe it. As we move again around the spiral, these are the sojourns of the spirits of our ancient ancestors found deep within your DNA.
What history, present, and future possibilities do you choose? Which spirits of celebration and festivals, which ritual tradition will you use to form the outcome of your magic? Which bonfires will you jump at the beginning of your path at the festival of Beltane Eve or the festival of Samhain? The energies of emotion, copulation, and eradication are the fuel of magic as ritual abounds and the symbolic reflections of the Celtic New Year at Samhain, and birth and new life at Beltane signify the beginning of a new journey in the bonfires of the Sabbats. The portrayal of Sheila Nogig, the ancient crone goddess at Samhain, of the lands of Albion, is the most potent symbol of life returning after death. We are born of her vagina, forever open for all who have eyes to see and return to her as we pass.
The Sabbats, hidden in the labyrinth of the alphabet, is my sacred name, the sigil of all things unknown. On earth my kingdom is eternity of desire. My wish incarnates in the belief and becomes flesh, for I am the living truth. Heaven is ecstasy, my consciousness changing and acquiring association. Austin Osman Spare, The Sermon to the Hypocrites. The mage can experience the witch's Sabbat, whose origins are as old as the hills, at two enticing levels. They were a night of celebration with bonfires, festivities, dance, and the honoring of Celtic deities and spirits, often within a sacred circle. The style of each celebration of the Sabbat differs with tradition, the name of the deities celebrated, and even the exact dates of the festivals.
What they all have in common is that they are traditionally Celtic, Druid, and or pagan holidays set aside for the recognition and or the worship of the sacred journey of the sun. Each pagan holiday is aligned to the cycles of the earth, each a festival of the religion of the Celts. In terms of history, we're not trying to suggest that there has always been a demarcation between the festivities of the pagan people and the sabbatic magical practices of the witches' covens and other magical gatherings. Religion and magic were not always separate affairs. However, for many practitioners of magic that choose to remain unaligned with religious worship, the experience of the Sabbat can be very different. It is often true that the night of the magical Sabbat is accompanied by celebration, a feast, fire, and festival-like environments.
Yet, the point of the independent mage celebration, the origins and current expressions of the Sabbatic festival, was and is the liberation from dogma, the opportunity to feast on spiritual and magical freedom. Each Sabbat celebrated is an opportunity for initiation. The magical Sabbat may be celebrated deep within a forest or in the other world of the astral plane. The mage honors herself as she takes the opportunity of personal recreation and the adoration of self. Whether we describe a cross-quarter fire festival or the night of a solstice or equinox, the path of the sun is the magical sojourn that supports the mage to evolve and honor his fertility, and his ultimate pleasure in the fires of Brides or Azazel's smithy of soul alchemy.